Hello again, and welcome to the final episode in my series, All About Love, according to Ostefco. This is a nice episode for me because this is one that I worked on together with you. I have taken your emails, your comments, and plucked some, I don't want to be here all day, and helped inform the content of this video. This year, for some reason, I have wanted to revel in the positivity of love rather just being bitter and upset about what hasn't transpired in my own life. I think it comes from having dealt with a situation where I felt a lot of new, big, powerful feelings that I didn't get to use them the way I wanted. And so what I found was hearing about other people's positive experiences actually made me feel better and not worse. I definitely have been in the headspace before where I am so disgusted and so disappointed that I don't have anything to share. And it's like, yeah, something great happened to you, but it should have happened to me instead, kind of that mind space. But this year it was like, no, I just want to know that there are people out there who get to take this feeling that I'm feeling and use it positively. I want to see how it's worked in their lives. And you guys definitely showed up and shared with me, and I'm so grateful for that. And so in this video, I'm going to share some of that content back in a different way. I also want to talk for a second about some celebrity stories that have always stuck out to me as being great love stories, and I want to share those. And so this video is going to be divided up into two parts: celeb stories and your stories. This is going to be the last time you see me on camera. The rest of this video is going to be some visuals, some text. It's going to be nice. I haven't worked on it yet, but I assume it's going to be nice. So I am signing off for this little series. My on-camera self is signing off at least. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sending me content. And as always, thank you for watching.
Love. A mini splendored thing. Well, that's at least how the saying goes. And apparently, it's very important to us, with most of US adults being in a committed relationship. According to research, romantic relationships are considered very important to most people because they provide emotional connection, support, and contribute greatly to overall well being. As such, many individuals actively seek out and value a committed romantic partnership in their lives. No matter how awkward the dating process can be, or how much heartbreak can happen when we lose the one we love, we stay motivated to find romantic partners and to procure romantic relationships. But what is it about romance that causes us to chase it? According to Helen Fisher, who was an anthropologist that studied romantic love specifically, romantic love is a passion and a fundamental human drive. It's a craving, like food and water and the maternal instinct. It's a psychological need, a profound urge, and an instinct to court and win a particular mating partner. And there you have it. Love wins. That is, until it doesn't. According to research, around 35% of unmarried adults in the United States report never even having been in a committed romantic relationship. That means roughly a third of single adults have never even had their chance at love. And some are swearing off love and marriage altogether. I know, you don't want to hear that. We want to focus on the positive side of love. It's time to find out. Does anyone have a good love story? I asked you, my audience, to chip in with this question, and turns out you did. But before we get to the stories that you shared with me, I want to talk a little bit about some stories that have inspired me overall. Now, let's be clear, these are just a few of my favorite love stories. And we're going to start off with a story that really makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside: the love story of Viola Davis and her husband, Julius Tenen. According to Viola, she wrote God a letter, or she said a prayer, and a couple of days later, she met Julius. But just because she prayed for it and she had a feeling that he might have been the answer to her prayer doesn't mean she was ready. In a People magazine interview from a few years ago, Viola describes meeting her husband and how their dream of a love story actually unfolded.
Do you remember the day you met him?
Yeah, craft services, because I was eating a bagel. Listen, every day was about what was at craft services. That was a time when I wasn't thinking about no diet. So I was eating a cinnamon raisin bagel with tuna fish on it. If you've never had it, it's absolutely delicious. So, and complaining about Los Angeles, which I did on a day-to-day basis. So.
And what did you say to him? Was it hello? Was it what
I
was
didn't say anything to him. He came up to me and he had his bag over his shoulder. And the first thought, he was like, hey, because we had just did a scene. And the only thing I thought was, he's good looking. He's really good looking. But then he gave me his card. He said, I heard you're not from Los Angeles. You know, I'll take you to Santa Monica Pier. You ever been to Santa Monica Pier? And I was like, no. He said, let me give you my card. And I was like, a card. I was really not feeling LA. I said, he's going to give me a card and he's not going to have a shirt on, because there's been so many people gave me their card and they didn't have a shirt on. Like,
Really?
Like, yeah, let me give you my card, and maybe, we could think of something we could do together, and give him, and no shirt.
I guess that was like the original sext.
Maybe it didn't work.
Here's a card without my shirt on.
So when he gave me his card, I was like, oh, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, he had a shirt on.
Oh, thank God.
And, so I didn't call him for 6 weeks because I was...
6 weeks?
I had bad credit at the time. I had anxiety attacks from driving. I had to work out some personal issues first, like finding a place to live. So I didn't want to be that woman that had so many issues going into a relationship. But I have to say, all the anxiety and the angst and all of those things that I had, the minute we started dating, which was the first time I called him, all of it went away. And I'm not trying to sound kumbaya. His energy, his exuberance, the absolute amount of love and kindness he had, it just transformed me immediately.
Another favorite of mine is the love story between Zoe Saldana and her husband, Marco Perego. Apparently, they'd known each other for a couple of years, but once they saw each other on a plane, that was it. I love that Zoe says she doesn't do the ABC. She does what her heart says, what her heart feels. So from the moment they actually met, she knew that they were meant to be husband and wife. And she went with the feeling. Now, there's an interview where she describes their love story as well, but unfortunately, it's copyright protected. So I will link it in the description box below, but they have a beautiful story. Another love story I've always loved is Matthew McConaughey and how he met his wife, Camilla. Now, Matthew says he was settled in his single life, but he was kind of starting to worry if he was ever going to meet anyone, as he was almost 40. And one night out at a club in Hollywood, everything changed for him. Also in a People magazine interview, Matthew explained what happened when he first met his wife, Camilla.
2006, you met Camilla.
Yeah.
In the middle of making all kinds of romantic comedies, you found the love of your life. Do you remember the first time you guys met?
Damn right.
Where was it?
Jones, a club on Sunset Boulevard. And I'm not a club guy.
Right.
But this night I was a club guy, right?
And why did you go to the club that night? Who took you there?
No, I went with my buddy, I was with my buddy Lance and some other friends, and we went out, single men having a good time. We had a great day at the beach. It was a summer. See, it was one of those summers where like every day was just like another green light. We were just, everything, we were getting work done, but we were playing hard and we were staying in shape, and it was just, I was getting along with my family fine. My friends were all doing good. I think it was one of those good summers that just you're like, oh, this is easy to just keep going. And we went out, and I was making margaritas at the table. And out of the corner of my eye, this sort of aqua green figure went sort of floating across the frame about 20 feet in front of me. My eye went up, and I remember what came out of my mouth. I didn't say, who is that? I went, what is that? And then that went and sat down, and I tried to get that's attention. And as I was trying to get that's attention across the room, it went in my head. I was like, this is not the kind of woman you call over across the room, McConaughey. Get your ass out of the chair and go get her. which I did.
You were spoiled by that point.
No, I was just
Oh, yeah.
come on. I was trying to turn a waiver over. And I was offering good margaritas, and I could make a good margarita. So I went over and I asked her her and her friends to come sit down, which every man should know that's a good thing to do, invite the friends, and that's the way they'll come on their own, which she did. And she spoke Portuguese over the loud music, and I spoke and understood. I understood Portuguese better than I've ever understood her in our 9 years of dating. I also spoke the best Spanish I've ever spoken, which was close enough to Portuguese that night to be the international language of love.
All right, so now it's time for the portion of the video where you tell me your love stories. I received some emails, some DMs, and there are so many comments underneath the original post. I only selected a few stories for this portion of the video. Please check the original post for some more great stories. I met my darling when I was a freshman in college. We both attended a writing club meeting, and that was how we met. From there, he would walk me back to my dorm every Tuesday, and we would walk and study together. We were both writers and English majors, so that's how we connected. I fell in love with him, and he cherishes me the way I've always dreamt to be cherished. Every day I feel lucky to have found this kind of love when I was younger, and he feels the same. Just before I gave up hope on the apps, I decided I'd go on a date with one more guy. Now we've been together for 7 months. Our first date was for frozen yogurt in the summer, and we ate it at a picnic table and just asked each other all the basic first date questions. Where are you from? What are your hobbies, etc. We were both so shy and nervous, which compared to how goofy we are with each other now, it surprises me how we evolved. It's a slow burn relationship, but it is the most secure and reassuring one I've had so far. I'm really happy. He plans things for us to do together. We are learning to knit, we craft, and we're planning a trip this summer. Workplace romance success story here. I was in the never dated, never been kissed camp until 4 years ago when I met my partner. I was working in QC at a food manufacturing plant, and he had just started as an engineer. Completely different departments, so we didn't see each other all that often, but we worked on a few projects together, and he became someone I always looked forward to crossing paths with. The puppy crush was instant. We are now 3 years strong and likely soon to be engaged. My relationship with him has truly made me believe in divine timing. I saw a picture of my now husband in a group photo from a picnic on Facebook, and I was immediately drawn to him, but his name wasn't tagged, so I had no idea who he was. A year later, I saw a picture of him again on Facebook, and this time he was tagged, so I took a chance and I added him as a friend. I found out he lived in New York, and I lived in Cali, so I figured we would just be friends. A few months later, he tells me he'll be in LA for a birthday party, so I attend this party with my sister so I can meet him in person. It's 1 a.m. and I still don't see him. My sister says, let's go home, but something in my spirit said no, I have to meet him. He finally shows up, I meet him, we take a picture together, and he goes on to enjoy the party with his friends. He starts messaging me on Facebook a few days later, and he seems interested, but I decided to play hard to get and kept turning him down. 5 months later, he asked me why I won't give him a chance to take me out. I tell him jokingly that the next time he's in LA, I'll take him out and buy him a burger. This man surprises me and flies in from New York a day later and messages me saying, I'm here for my burger. I was shocked, but I knew I had to keep my word. We go to In-N-Out and get burgers, and the rest is history. We've traveled to 15 countries together, we've married almost 10 years, and we have 2 kids. And that's all for now. Just remember, love truly is a wonderful thing. Wishing you all a great love story.